Hi there, this is Pete7 on Twitter and Periscope, just coming live from the Roman fort at Housesteads up on Hadrian's Wall. And it's a very cold, crisp day, incredibly frosty start, but warming up nicely now. And here we are. I'm actually standing just in front of the Roman granaries within the fort there. Swinging around, and there's the interior. This was probably all one building at one time. It has been subdivided into two granaries. It also became a medieval farmhouse at one time as well. Hey, there's some winter sun. And I'm looking out over the headquarters building there, and then swinging around, this is the hospital building, and that's the South Tyne Valley in the distance there. Coming back around, the granaries were probably substantial buildings, hence the buttressing on the sides here. You can see there, and we have a magnificent door sill here as well, where goods would have been loaded and unloaded into the granary. And if you look just inside the door there, you can see the fixtures where the bolts would have gone in to lock up the granary. And if we just look in there, these are the pili in here. The floor would have been raised, so air would have got underneath, ventilated the place, kept the stores nice and dry, and also for the hopeful elimination of vermin there, they probably would have sent small dogs in, terriers, to go ratting. So if I come out there and just move across, of course Hadrian's Wall was started to be partly built about 122 AD under the orders of Emperor Hadrian up here in Northumberland. Not that it was that at that time. Edge of Empire. So I'm looking west here to the fort wall, and then along, and looking out over to the edge of Empire. This section here is quite interesting. The fort wasn't the original idea of the defences. It was probably just to create a wall with the fort sitting back on the Staingate line where Vindolanda is, and Denton and so on. So what happened was the fort started to be built, the wall was started to be built, sorry, and they started to build the turrets. This is one of the Hadrian's Wall's just disappearing into the distance there, over onto that ridge there. So the turrets were starting to be built under orders. This particular turret here never saw the light of day, because there was a decision made then to create forts along the line of the wall. So what happened was somebody came along and said, demolish the turrets, we're building a fort over the top. So this is the remains that's been excavated in the 20th century of the turret that never ever saw the light of day, not as part of the wall. And the actual wall of the fort was then moved backwards to the edge of the cliff. So just looking round again, that is a wall turret that was demolished and covered over. These are just buildings along the edge of the rampart. I'm just walking down. I'm looking down into Nag Burn now, which is east along Hadrian's Wall. You can see this is a very crisp day. It's just reached double figures, I think, or rather less than -1 now. There's a lovely water tank there. The scalloping on the tanks originally were thought to be where soldiers sharpen their weapons. It's quite a nice idea, but you can imagine them sharpening their weapons on the edge of the water tanks. It's more likely they were actually washing their clothes in these tanks, and actually as they dragged their clothes out of the tanks, it actually wore away the sides. So this is the north gate of the fort. Beautifully well preserved, and there's the spina, the central. So there would have been a gate on either side, and then obviously you've got the gate towers there as well. Hopefully stick with me. I'm not sure how the signal will go now. and again looking right out. This is north of the wall and around to Nagburn. The 19th century excavators actually removed the ramp that would have come out of this door leading down into the valley. That's why everybody wonders why on earth there's a door here with this huge drop. It's actually because there was a ramp here the Victorians actually dug away. And again, you can just see a pivot hole for the gate there, still in situ. Quite magnificent. There would have been a bathhouse and a well down in the valley there as well. Again, guardhouse. Again, there would have been a turf rampart against the back of the wall. A lot of that's been dug out now so they could put buildings in. Also, some of the stonework here is actually cobbling to stop the turf from sliding away onto the Intervallum Road, which would have run around the inside of the fort walls. I'm actually now inside the barracks where the Roman soldiers would have lived. Contubernum would have housed about 8 soldiers in each room, although in later times, later part of the Roman Empire, these were actually converted into what the term as chalets. So it may be that family units actually moved into these barrack blocks instead. So I'll just stop and I'll just work around so you can very slowly see the site. The Roman Road, the barrack blocks there. Ooh, lots of fantastic winter. Did the Romans travel with slaves? Yes, they would have done. Somebody's asking on Periscope here. Yeah, they would have done. Certainly the commander of the fort would have had his own retinue with him of trusted sort of household, which would have included slaves, and he probably would have travelled around with them. Yes. I'll just take you down a little bit towards the Principia, which is the headquarters building there. Again, I'm just looking at the substantial remains of the granary with its buttressed walls. Obviously, they held so much stuff, wheat. Each fort should have held probably about a year's supply. So I'm actually looking over the headquarters building here. Jumping down. Right, so I'm now in the probably important building of the complex there, which is the headquarters building. You can just see the remains of some of the pillars in the cross hall here. This beautiful doorway. So I'm now entering into the main building. Again, you see the remains of columns everywhere. This sort of building would have held the pay chests, pay records, would have held the standards, also dedications to the current emperor as well, and the commanding officer or one of his centurions would have given out orders for the day from in here. The set of steps leading down from the Granary Road, just down into the headquarters building. Well, it's such a big site, I can't really do all of it any justice in the time that I have. So I hope you just enjoyed the very brief tour I have given you. And you'll have to come and visit the site yourself because it is absolutely stunning. I'll just give you one last view in the distance there. The one that everybody talks about is obviously the toilet block, which is one of the most beautifully preserved and exciting for children Roman building anywhere in the UK. And I'll just give you one last view. This is the building which is the commanding officer's house. the Pretoria. Built on, because it was on a hill, it would have been stepped. Could have been even built over 2 levels there. And yep, there's the south gate. In the distance, the rolling hills of Northumberland, the South Tyne Valley. Hope you enjoyed this little trip, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.